Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Ross, and this is Modern Democracy. I just wanted to give a little bit of a project update. I've been gone for about 6 months again. Um, basically, I've been busy with a lot of things, a lot of personal stuff, a lot of work. But I recently at a point where I want to try and push this forward again. Um, so what I'd like to do is to introduce some uh, video content happening on a regular basis. So basically, what I want to do is I want to start. I'm going to start with doing some book reading. My whole purpose when I started Modern Democracy, quite a few years ago now, um, was to learn more about government and local government in particular, but government in general. And one, both to try and understand it because I had an interest in running locally for government. But also, and really primarily, my main interest was to add to my knowledge base, to understand um, what how government works, and also looking for opportunities to try and bring technology in to help um, disseminate information and teach how government works at the local level at least, um, in ways that aren't currently being done. Um, so what I'm going to do, I could go on and on about this, but I'd like to try and keep this video short. So basically, um, I want to start putting in daily content, and I think because it is just me primarily right now, I've got a couple of people that might be interested in helping with a project here or there or some of the areas I'm going to cover. But basically, it's me on my own. So I needed to find some options that allow me to create content in a way that um, can be done quickly. It can be done by myself, um, but also sort of furthers along that goal of trying to improve the way that government works and improve the way that it's taught to the general public to help people get, if you're interested in government and local governments in particular. Um, this is intended to be a sort of a one-stop shop. So I'm going to get into a lot of technical details. I'm not a politician by trade. I'm a programmer. I also am a bit of an amateur videographer. Um, so I'm going to sort of I want to get into those subjects more in depth as well. So I'm intending to have a section of this channel be devoted to teaching people how to code and also how the code that I'm currently building works, and sort of use it as a bit of a documentation process to um, if anybody's interested, they can sort of follow along what I'm working on. And so I'm going to try and keep some regular updates on that. Probably more like once a week for that, I think, at least to start initially. But for daily content, my main focus is going to be a book study, sort of something that I'd like to get going. Mostly because I've been reading a lot of books around government, but also a number of interesting books that cover topics that are related, but may not necessarily be government focused. So anyway, so the project as I envision it right now is I want to read a chapter a day. Most of this is stuff that I've read before, but it would be good for me to go back over anyway. But also I want to try and, I guess my thought of what I want to do here is sort of think of this as an homage to the original concept of what universities were. If you go back, way back before the printing press, and you were wanting to study a particular subject, um, books were not printed; they were handwritten, and so a large aspect of the way that original universities worked, and this even was true going forward to quite a few decades, I think, even after the Gutenberg printing press. But anyway, it's not that important if I'm wrong on that. But this idea that students would sit in a classroom and the professor would read the textbook or narrate it to them, and their job would be to copy it down, so that at the end of the course they would actually have a copy of the book, and it was one that they had written themselves. So that's kind of what's inspired me to want to do this. So basically, what I want to do is I'm going to start reading through a number of books that I'm starting with a set of 7 that I think will be interesting. Most of them are going to be applicable directly to the topic, but some of them will be a little bit of a tangent. My interests are quite varied, and I think some of the stuff is just interesting. So, I mean, I have to make this engaging for myself too and make it fun. So, anyway, like I said, but the plan is to do a different book a day. So each day of the week will be dedicated to a particular book. I will read a chapter each day from that book, and build out a set of playlists that will essentially be the book in its entirety. Now, it's not going to be a direct one-to-one. I will read pretty much everything that's in the book out loud, but I'm anticipating I'm going to end up pausing here and there and sort of sharing some thoughts, or if something occurs to me, or some other information that is related to what's being talked about, maybe I'll bring that in. But it's going to be a fairly casual, laid-back conversation. So basically, that's what I'm wanting to do, and I'm going to start that today, a little bit later today. I'll get this video finished off, and I'll post it up online. This will be sort of a state of where things are at, and then I'll post this other video, and then the goal is to create a new video every day. So today's book will be Local Government in BC, and I'll do a bit of an introduction at the start of the video. But anyway, that's essentially all I wanted to say right now. You can feel free to contact me at any of the links listed down here, right there. And otherwise, I will see everyone next time, and have a good day.